welcome to another episode of Fish on Fridays. I'm Al McCauley, and today I want to talk to you about a man named Solanus Casey. It's blessed Solanus Casey because he's one step away from being a saint, from being recognized and canonized as a Catholic saint. And boy, he's knocking on the door. He'll be there imminently, sooner than later, that's for sure. And we celebrate his feast day every year on July 30th. And Solanus Casey is one of those individuals who is not spectacular. He reminds me of St. Teresa of Lisieux in a way because he's humble and he's simple. And there's nothing that would attract you to him in terms of magnificent miracles and prophesying and writing great volumes of theological works. He was just a simple, humble guy. And a lot of that is why he is just about to become a saint, because he showed that saintliness is available to everybody. So let's back up and look at this guy a little bit. He is the sixth of 16 children born to Irish immigrants. His name is Bernard Casey. In fact, as a kid, he was called Barney. It was his nickname. And he wasn't, by his own admission, he wasn't the brightest bulb on the tree. He wasn't dumb, but he certainly wasn't a great intellectual necessarily. But he persevered in wanting to become a priest so badly. And he eventually would become a Capuchin, and which is part of the Franciscan order. And the name Solanus is the name he took because there was a friar from the 16th century named St. Francis Solanus. And he played the violin and Barney really liked the violin too, so that's why he took the name Solanus Casey, after that 16th century friar. Nonetheless, during his life, he's born in Wisconsin, in a place called Oak Grove, Wisconsin. He's going to die in Detroit, Michigan. So if you are from the Midwest in the United States, this is your guy. He did spend some time in Indiana and New York as well, but everywhere he went, he did the same kind of thing. He served the poor. He worked in soup kitchens. He helped the struggling. He became a confessor of sorts. And I don't mean that in the literal sense, like a priest who would hear confessions over and over. In fact, he didn't even have the ability to do that right away because he was somebody who was not ordained in a way that he could hear confessions and give absolutions. So what he would do is he would hear people's confessions and then direct them to a priest to kind of finish the deal, the absolution, if you will. He was a remarkable man because people came to him and they trusted him. Part of his job was he was called a doorkeeper. He was somebody who would be the gate, if you will, the gateway through which people would come into the friary. If they needed something, if they wanted something, he would be the face, if you will, of the friary and help them. And in getting to know people, he would listen to their story, and he would, they were, for whatever reason, people would tell him about their story and their plights and their need for prayers, etc. And he was always patient and compassionate, wanted to lend a helping ear and give healing in his words and comfort and that kind of thing. And he lived his faith very simply. In a lot of ways, he was a replica of St. Francis. That's one of the things that was said of him. He was a replica of St. Francis in terms of living simply, living humbly. He was very much prone to living a life of gratitude, grateful for everything. In fact, he used to say, thank God ahead of time. Thank God ahead of time. Don't wait for your blessings. Start thanking him beforehand because you're going to be getting them every day when you wake up, for instance. And this idea of this gratitude and this humility was really the path to sanctity for him. And it was easy to recognize his holiness. People recognized it in his lifetime. He was called a living saint. And obviously he has passed away. And now he's, like I said at the beginning of this episode, he's one step away from being recognized fully as a canonized saint. But he recognized and believed that our faith was the cornerstone, not just of our own individual existence, but the existence of all humanity. He was somebody who was asked about atheism, and he said, I just don't get atheism. How can you not believe in God after living in this wonderful world? But like all the saints I chronicle in these episodes, there is so much more I could say about the man. And in 5 minutes-ish time, I just want to dip my toe into the pool a little bit and give you a taste of who this man was, the profound humility that he had, the simplicity, and hope that it wears off, that you say that I want that in my life. And if you like Solanus Casey, for instance, that you do a little bit more research and find out a bit more, maybe read some of his stuff. But just a wonderful, humble, simple guy to get to know and to love. So anyway, that's Solanus Casey. But pay attention in the news. I'm sure it won't be long before you'll hear that he is going to be canonized and made a saint. So thanks for watching. I would love it if you'd subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Facebook. But either way, please keep tuning in every Friday for Fish on Fridays. Until next time, please be good to each other, and God bless.